AITA, am I the a-hole because my babysitter quit after she read my texts? I have a babysitter who watches my two young girls while me and my husband go to work. She brings her daughter with her. She's always been great. One day, she was about 10 minutes late, which made me late for work. It's fine because it hasn't happened before, and she apologized and I thought we were all good. A day later, she lets me know that she had been helping my daughter on her iPad and some texts popped up between me and my husband. I was complaining to him that the babysitter was late that morning and it made me late to work. Well, she kept reading and read all our texts for the past month. I had also complained to him once that our babysitter had eaten all our Oreos. It was just funny banter, and I got over it quickly, but I was still whining. I would have never said anything to her about it. Anyway, the babysitter texted me the night before she was supposed to watch my kids next that she was quitting because of those texts she read. She was really hurt I would complain about her to him. I feel horrible but also violated that she read all our texts. I apologized for what I said, but I still feel sad about it all. Am I the a-hole? NTA, not the a-hole. You have the right to vent in private to your husband. You forgave her, but that doesn't mean it didn't affect your day. She violated your privacy. And she had to go back a month before finding anything else about her. If you text with any frequency, that's a lot of personal texts for her to have gone though. Any hurt she feels is her own fault. I would have fired her for reading through the texts. Seeing the one that popped up is one thing. Looking back through is another altogether. NTA, not the a-hole. Reading texts that pop up is one thing, but the next step is to immediately tell the parents that those texts are popping up, and the next step is to not violate someone's privacy by reading texts going back an entire month. Babysitter was unprofessional by doing that, and you're better off securing your electronics and hiring someone else. She ate all of you Oreos then quit? SMH, the audacity of this woman. Someone call the cops, damn it. NTA. She should have been fired for going through your text messages. That a huge privacy issue. Everyone complains about stuff, even minor like the Oreos. She is completely in the wrong here. Babysitter is 100% the a-hole, and as you said should be fired even if she hadn't quit, but I've gotta bring up the fact she sends nudes to her husband and these all come up on her daughter's iPad. That babysitter is 100% the a-hole in this situation. OP is not the a-hole here at all, but WTF OP? I'm assuming the iPad was originally yours and that's why your messaging is on it, but Christ. Check you've properly wiped your electronics before you start sending nude pictures to your children. You are absolutely not an asshole with regards to your post, but damn, you have to be more careful with things like that. God forbid your daughter ever had a friend over and opened it. NTA, you are not the a-hole here. You are allowed to complain about people to your husband, especially if it's something you got over and wasn't a big deal. If you had been running your mouth to everyone about it, that would be a problem, but he's your husband. Furthermore, it is a huge breach of privacy to read messages, and in many countries this is illegal, just like how it is illegal to read other people's mail. You are not the a-hole, and it's honestly a good thing she quit, since she clearly has a significant disregard for your privacy. NTA. This babysitter violated your privacy and took it upon herself to read all of those messages. That is inexcusable and majorly creepy. I wouldn't want her back regardless of how good she was with your kids. You are allowed to vent to your husband as well. NTA. She violated your privacy and it's good that she left because she should have been fired for that alone. Complaining to your husband about Oreos is hardly a bad thing anyway. You're normal and not an AH at all. I agree. Normal people complain about minor annoyances. Normal people don't read other people's texts. NTA. NTA, and warn other parents that she snoops. Seriously. If she is from an agency or on a website, this needs to be reported / OP leaves a review. This is so inappropriate and inexcusable. I don't know how anyone could sit there and read someone's texts without their permission, let alone their bosses. AITA. That was an egregious breach of privacy on her part. Who knows what else she felt entitled to look through. AITA. Those were private messages between you and your husband. She can quit for any reason she wants, I guess, but to quit over private messages she only found cause she was snooping is bad form. AITA, you didn't do anything wrong, she's the one that read your private messages, I wouldn't have apologized. AITA. Those texts were private. AITA, everyone makes those dumb little comments when they are irritated about something. She was way over the line reading your private texts. I definitely wouldn't give her a letter of recommendation. Yes, make sure the next person knows about this. I wouldn't want Miss Snoopy as my babysitter. She clearly has boundary issues. AITA, you never touch someone else's Oreos. Seriously though, she shouldn't have gone through your texts and you weren't out of line in the texts either. I don't even care about the Oreos. But eating all of them was a little annoying. But not annoying enough to say anything to her about it. AITA. That's a fireable offense. Definitely AITA, she crossed a line reading those texts and quitting because she ate all the Oreos and found out you were mildly inconvenienced by it. A way to reconcile with you would either 1. Not bring it up because it's such a minor thing and actually be worried about moral choices, or 2. Apologize for reading your texts, and offer a case of Oreos as a token of your apology. A way not to reconcile with you would be quitting with a day's notice. Info: how long would it have taken her to read through a month's worth of texts between you and your husband? Could she have been doing that and making sure the kids are well supervised? Depending on that answer, I would have reconsidered continuing having her as a babysitter anyways. AITA, she has no boundaries. You're better off without her. AITA. This is a total breach of your privacy, and even if it wasn't, the babysitter shouldn't be getting that butthurt over what you texted. AITA, she went through your texts? She needs to realize that she's there for a job and that's it. And if she's fessing up to going through your texts, just imagine what else she's looked through. AITA, she dove into conversation she shouldn't have been a part of, so it seems that this job is also something she shouldn't have been a part of. AITA, she should never have been reading your texts. It takes a particular kind of nosiness to scroll a whole month back into someone's private correspondence. If she had left the pop-up banner, it would have gone away. Instead, she went foraging quite deliberately. It's a shame she was hurt, but she eavesdropped, and she definitely violated your privacy and your trust. I think once someone proves they've been reading your correspondence in any format, something happens to the trust between you. I think I would have let her go at that point. A basic tenet of leaving someone in your home is that they don't go through your papers. This is no different. You had the right to point out facts to your husband, you were late for work, you needed to get some more Oreos now, whatever. Nanny here. You're definitely AITA. Seeing the texts that just popped up was one thing, purposely looking through your text messages is another. She hurt half her own feelings by being where she shouldn't have been. It's understandable you complained to your husband about her lateness. It was an accident and forgiven, but still an inconvenience. I've complained about similar before about people I've hired, and about my boss. If it really bothered her, she should have taken it in stride and asked to discuss it with you to clear the air or clarify feelings. She threw professionalism by the wayside and violated your privacy, then made a rash decision to quit. My suggestion to you would be to tighten your tech privacy and educate yourself in that realm for your and your kids' sake. Hopefully your next childcare provider experience is better. Slightly YTA, you're the a-hole. It's probably not a good idea to be logged in with your personal account to a public device. You meant to have a private conversation with your husband, which is complete understandable, but you had it on a device that you made public. I'm assuming you had it on your phone and it also got sent to your tablet, so you gave up your privacy, and your babysitter got access to it because your kid had access to it. It doesn't sound like she was snooping until the message caught her attention, and it sounds like she was hurt by comments. I wouldn't blame her, she might have overreacted, but that was her right to do so. You absolute frocking donut. That is not OP giving up their privacy. That was the babysitter being a snoop. That iPad is not public, it is private. The iPad was private property. How on earth could messages being sent there most likely on accident be giving up privacy?